So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today, we are once again going to do some poster design process. Not going to have a look at any type of inspiration, reference, whatever it may be, but we're going to get straight into what it is all about, because it is all about design. It's all about doing something. It's all about making something. It's all about designing something. There we go. It's already there. And as always, it's going to be a typo poster or typography poster. But I'm going to give myself a grid again. But this time, I may indeed edit it to a certain degree every 3 centimeters. But why? What about 2? Does this work? Well, let's actually keep it like this. For whatever reason, I don't know. And let's choose some really strange typeface. You know, something that I would normally not necessarily use. This one. No. Definitely not web things. Let's just not use this one. But I'm gonna choose Love Malia. It's very hard to read. But I do want to have another word that's two times thingy thing. Coffee, no. Clock. BottleNeck. Don't ask why, I don't know. I'm just having a bottle besides me. This is why I thought about it. You know, this is why I'm having it on my mind. This is why it is in me. Or something. I don't know. But let's see. Let's see what we can do with it. I guess this element's gonna be rather big. Maybe, just maybe I'm have a circle around it. Come on, my darling. It's gonna be a 2-pixel circle. Just wanted to say point, but it's not. And maybe we are actually gonna do this for whatever reason. I don't know, but we're doing that. And like this. Maybe, should I give it some sort of, I just remember something. I just remember that I think, did I? Oh, it's probably been the one. Yeah. I do remember what I wanted to remember. Can I? So let's copy it like this. I mean, in the real end, I would say, let's actually talk about something different, you know, while I'm just doing this stuff here, because I think in terms of the podcast, it may actually be a bit boring, me just talking about design and talking about just, you know, talking about what I'm doing at the time, which, I don't know, doesn't seem to be that interesting, to be honest, but, yeah. These days are good, I would say, and there definitely are always like some good days, of course some bad days. Yesterday, well, the day before, it's been one of the worst days I've had in my whole entire life. Period. But it is fine. some days are just bad, and some days teach you a very important lesson. I would argue, I would say, and this is something to think about, and it is something to keep in mind, and it is something to, basically also focus on. Some days are just more difficult. Some days are really good, and actually pretty difficult for me to talk about that. But it is very therapeutic. Often, I do see the podcast, or I feel like it is something that really tremendously helps me with coping with who I am and what I do. And this basically is by design. And I don't want to be like, okay, I've been thinking about that just all the time. I thought about the podcast, I don't know, being beneficial in so many different ways. Of course, I thought about some things. Of course, I had some things in mind. Of course, I just, didn't do just something or anything or whatever. But I also thought about, like, even if it is not leading to more work, or if it is not leading to, to success in the typical sense when it comes to having a YouTube channel, having a podcast and whatnot, how can it still benefit me, And, I would argue that this is actually one of the most important thoughts one can have when it comes to, and let's actually see that. I do wanna have it actually like that. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep it to 4. It is something to keep in mind when it comes to business, when it comes to a book, when it comes to whatever it may be. Focusing on how this particular thing can benefit you, even if it does not benefit you in the typical quote-unquote sense, is very useful and quite important, so that it can somehow ensure that whatever you do, it's gonna be fine, and it is even gonna be good. Something else that I do want to talk about is knowing oneself, and basically also the fact that we quite often are making our own life very, 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 very difficult, which is an unfortunate thing, but we can change it. And this kind of ties into something that really is bothering me in general, feeling quote-unquote helpless, and or putting yourself in a helpless, how should I say, in a helpless mindset, having a helpless mindset. Okay, this is what it is like. I can't do anything about it, and so I'm just pissed and whatnot. This is the way that I feel about other people talking about social media. I do often just see it as something pretty beautiful and also pretty useful. Of course, I am well aware of the fact that, this may not be the case for everything and everyone and whatever, but this mindset, this victim mindset is definitely not serving anyone. It's not serving me, it's not serving you, it's not serving your mom, it's not serving just whoever it might be about. And why have it then? Why always focus on the stuff that is bad, that could be better, whatever. But let's actually really quickly, I want to Google victim mindset. 16 signs and tips to deal with it. They say the victim mentality rests on 3 key beliefs. bad things happen and will keep happening. Other people or circumstances are to blame, and any efforts to create change will fail, so there's no point in trying. Well, if this is now victim mindset in the quote-unquote common sense, or if it's just pessimism, is, at least for me, quite hard to tell now, because, well, these are all things a classical quote-unquote pessimist, I think, would say to oneself. But on the other hand, it's difficult. It really is, especially when it comes to some mental stuff and mental things. I do not want to act like, okay, just change it. When you're having to deal with something, just change it. It is fine. Just do something about it. It is not that easy, and this is not what things are like. Really often it's just difficult, period, to do whatever. And to change your beliefs and to change you as a human being or whatever it may be. And this is also something to keep in mind. This is also something to focus on. This is also something to, basically not forget about. Okay, I want to change something. Okay, I want to do something, which is an amazing first step. But gradually doing so is the best idea. It's not about just immediately creating this amazing change and being a new person the next day. No, it should be sustainable. It really should. And doing something too quickly, meaning exposing yourself to new things too fast, it's just not a good idea. How is this gonna last? It basically kind of cannot, because you're overdoing things. You're not listening to yourself probably, and that definitely is not a good idea. You should listen to yourself and what your body is saying, and what your mind is saying. Negative feelings, there is a reason why we're having negative feelings. There's a reason why we sometimes feel bad, why we sometimes feel like that everything is just going the wrong direction and whatnot. There is a reason for that, and the simple reason is that these feelings show us things that we would not see otherwise, because sometimes we are somewhat blind to certain things, and who is to be blamed for that? I don't know. Hard to tell as well. But yeah, let's actually see what they're also saying. What does it look like? Avoiding responsibility, placing blame elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, if you're blaming somebody else, this is just a very, very easy way to just, not be the one that made the mistake, or whatever it may be about it, actually. It's difficult. It is difficult to be accountable. It is difficult to say, okay, this has been my fault. I did that. It's been me. Obviously, this is very difficult, but very often those very difficult things are the ones that one should pursue. Those things that one should do quite. Because, and it is something that I've been talking about before, and also back in the very early days of the podcast, quite a common theme or topic that was on my mind quite frequently was this idea of, okay, when you're having something that is easy, then can this actually be right? Of course, sometimes easy things are the right thing to do, but most often the very difficult things are the ones are the right things to do. Yeah, of course, just then always thinking about, okay, what could I do that is very, very, very difficult? This may be the wrong idea, this may be the wrong approach to doing that, but yeah, period. By the way, the sign that I'm making right now, I do really not like it because I really do hate the font. So maybe let's actually get that in it. I hate that font quite a lot, period. It's a challenge, though, ... And let's do it left, and do this and that and the other thing, and there is no way anyone would like to read that. It is so freaking ugly. Also because the spacing is completely off, by the way, but yeah, anyway. What if I'm doing it like this? This does work, but maybe, just maybe, what about centering it again, making it a bit smaller, doing it like this, multiplying it, not multiplying it, but copying it, and let's just put it in the background, very, very, very bigly or something, because bigly is my favorite word. It's a good word. Use bigly more often. Note to myself. Note to myself, use bigly. What could I do now? I could actually indeed fill these ones. My point is, to just, kind of clarify things. If you're having this quote-unquote victim mindset, and it's, obviously something that you have to listen to, basically listening to yourself to see whether, this kind of applies to you, if it is something that you're dealing with at the time, then do something about that. You really should, or one really should, because in the real end, it's not going to make your life easier. It's just going to make it worse and harder and more difficult in the long run. Of course, a lot of things that we may be encountering at first sight, it seems amazing. It seems like, okay, it's just great. I am feeling good. It's great. It's the thing that I maybe even should be doing. Sometimes we feel about things in that way, but always asking myself, like, is this really the case? Is this really what I should be doing? Is this really what I am supposed to be doing? And then thinking about it, and thinking about what you're having on your mind, because fuck, not because fuck, but what about then just changing it? You're doing something, you have been doing something for quite some time. What about reversing that? What about just, doing it differently? What is going to happen? Is something good going to happen? Something really bad going to happen? What what is gonna happen? Does this make sense if I'm just doing it in white? Still looks ugly as shit. I can't help myself. What if I'm doing it in this yellowish color? Or green. Green could be hella ugly. But I think in this context it is somewhat fine, I'd say. Yeah, it kind of is. For whatever reason. So let's actually finish this one up here. Logo, right. Adding a logo is just always an idea. When in doubt, just add a logo. Or actually no, if it is not loading. Because apparently it's just not doing what it is supposed to be doing. So we're gonna do it differently. So we're not gonna add a logo. As simple as it is. But we're gonna add some noise, and all of a sudden it is there. Fuck you, I guess. We're gonna add a little bit more of noise, and we are gonna adjust the colors a tiny bit. There we go. Then we're gonna get it. And I am probably... What if I stretch it? Does this look better then? Kind of looks interesting, at least. But what I dislike is the fact that I did not multiply it. So now I can do this and that and the other thing. I'm probably doing it like this. And all of a sudden we are having a somewhat of a decent poster. But I could actually also kind of get rid of this one. Or just revert. Oh no. No. I could actually keep it like that, question mark? I don't know. Do the libraries work? Yeah. So then we're gonna just add a logo there. Then all of a sudden everything makes sense again. And we're gonna put it up here. Maybe there's also gonna be a bit of space for textures. Sometimes they work, sometimes they really don't. But I would assume that they do not really work for this one. So let's actually just keep it like this. Let's actually just keep it like this. But maybe I could. No. Okay. Either inverse that one or inverse this one. No, definitely that one. Definitely that one. And maybe, also maybe, let's just see if I can use different colors. If this does any good to the piece. Or if it's just making it worse. And I do really like those colors. Yeah, I do really like those colors. Or are there just, any better ones? Something that... Let's keep them. Let's keep them. Bottle and BottleNeck. Save. And yeah, with that being said, I'm probably gonna end the episode here. Gonna see you soon.